Good morning, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. Let's do a twin flame reading. Let's see where we go today. Okay, commitment. We have freedom, interesting themes already, closure, trust, courage, grieving in reverse, and happiness and prosperity. Where should I put this? I'll put this right here. Okay, in the unconscious, we have well-being. Okay, immediately I have to go to that reversal. Some of you are not allowing yourself to grieve, period. It's very hard on this path to, hold on, let me stop pulling cards and just read for a moment. Hold on. Sometimes on this path, we get our knees cut out from under us. It happens quite often, right? We fall down and we get back up. That's the mechanism of the journey, right? That's the function. We fall down, we learn about ourselves, we study ourselves, we become more self-aware. We find a way to vibrate that dense energy, and then we find a way to return to love, right? That's the work of alchemizing the darkness into light. You have all of these beautiful, we have all of these beautiful, beautiful cards. These are all cards of support on the path. One reversal, that is grief. It's pretty wild because this reading is mimicking and mirroring my own experience with grief. Now, mind you, this doesn't have to just be grief over this particular person you have in mind, or that you feel you've been walking this soulmate cycle with. This could be any grief from anywhere. This time of year is the anniversary of my father's passing. There's like a 2-week window where he started to decline and went into hospice, and the whole thing started to happen. And so this time of year, even if I forget what time of year it is, my fascia, my muscle memory, quite literally my muscles hold the memory of this time of year, and I get kind of bamboozled with grief. And for a while, grief is interesting. Sometimes it comes in like a tsunami and floods our system, and we're, having a big emotional release. And sometimes it's just kind of this low-grade hum that's playing in the background. We're not quite sure maybe why we feel extra fatigued, exhausted, that, waking up is a little bit difficult, or maybe getting to sleep is a little bit more difficult, or maybe forgetting to take care of ourselves in the way that we normally should or feel is appropriate. It's been happening to me, so it is very interesting. Anyone who has ever lost someone, either through death or through any other love or heartbreak or any other things, grief is so pervasive. And I think a lot of times, and mind you, this is just my personal opinion, I think we sometimes mislabel grief as just this depression, and this label of depression has always bothered me my whole life. When I hear people talk about it, or people are so quick to say, oh, I'm depressed, but what is actually happening when this label shows up? There's so much more going on, then you have to ask yourself, okay, am I actually tired? Is my physical body tired, or is my soul exhausted? Have I lived a life that is so dissonant with my soul's deepest truth that I am now fatigued because I'm trudging through life? I'm climbing uphill with the weight of all of these external pressures on my back, and they're pressures that don't feel good to me. That's very common. So if you're feeling this, I just want to let you know that you're not alone, that this is incredibly common. And I'm not telling you that because that's going to all of a sudden make it easier and make the pain go away, but you're not alone. And this is not an uncommon experience. Okay. Another message here around dense emotions and feelings, that it's okay for grief to be here. It doesn't rule out or negate any other positive or less dense emotions. It doesn't, if you're experiencing grief, it doesn't negate your courage. If you're experiencing grief, it doesn't minimize your freedom or your happiness or your ability to access prosperity. You can still access, hold on, I'm moving too fast. There's so much here. Hold on. Okay. Let's drop in because I feel emotions coming on. So let's just honor that this is a really dense topic, and take care of yourself. Do what you need to do to stay grounded throughout this reading. If that means turning it off, then so be it. Really take care of yourself. Some of you have let the false narrative take over your hearts. And the false narrative is that because I am grieving, I cannot trust myself or others. Grief is profound. Grief can suck the life right out of us. Let's just honor that. Let's give it space. Let's give it the appropriate, I was going to say throne, but then I thought altar. Let's put divine grief on the appropriate altar that it deserves. Let us be courageous and daring enough to step into accountability and responsibility on this path. Sometimes, especially with, this is less about death and more about grieving a relationship that has ended, or a relationship with a job or organization or even a friendship. It's very easy when pain arrives that we all of a sudden do not trust self, that we take it within and feel that we did something wrong. And we rack our brains and our hearts and our bodies for what could we have done differently to change the outcome, to shift the course. I'm here to tell you that this is clearly not the case, that your deepest commitment is always to self, is always in developing the relationship you have with self, to be courageous in facing self, right? So often on this twin flame path, it's funny, it just hit me now that this is not how I do twin flame readings. I normally do masculine, feminine, and union energies, but I guess this just wanted to come out of me. Wow, this is fascinating. Okay, so for right now, this is a union, this is a universal twin flame experience, and this is why it's coming through. We are being called to higher sovereignty. We are being called to repair the relationship with the parts of self that are grieving, that have committed sins against self, that have abandoned and betrayed self. We are being called to access this closure with internal parts, external people, places, and things. By doing this, by actually going back and taking accountability for these intersections of choice in our lives, this is how we access freedom. This is how we access our deepest joy and prosperity. Let me put out all these other cards. All right, we have joy, we have liberation. I mean, come on, did I not just say those things? We have speak up, we have soul forgiveness. Yes, this is all in alignment with repairing the parts of self that have committed sins against self. I don't really know why I'm saying that. I don't normally talk about committing sins, but there's something here that feels like a self-betrayal. So there's something here about, where, oh my God, I was literally just going to say this. Where in your life have you been hiding a truth behind something else. So it's our ego loves it when we blame others instead of taking accountability for self, for our own actions, for falling in love with someone who is unavailable, um, for falling in deep connection and commitment to a job that really wasn't supporting and did not have our backs. There's these moments for trusting people, places, and things that were very untrustworthy. So where can we have another truth card. Didn't we have a truth card somewhere? Or maybe that was just in my brain. We are calling back our spirit from places it doesn't belong and finding trust within self, reconnecting with intuition, repairing these fracture points in our own self-trust. We are taking off all masks. We are accessing the truth of the matter, no matter how messy it gets. This is our path to prosperity. Creativity. What's wild is this is such beautiful, these are such beautiful messages, and there's just this deep, deep grief. One thing I've had to learn on my path that's been very hard, especially kind of as a mystical person who has lived between worlds since I was a little kid. It's really scary when you don't really understand what the heck is going on. It's scary to do that. I don't say these things to make myself feel special. It was actually incredibly painful. And I'm getting emotional talking about this. It was deeply painful to feel alone in those ways. And so we are reclaiming something collectively. We are reclaiming the magic. We are reclaiming the preciousness and the innocence of this journey. I keep looking at her beautiful smiling face, who's looking up towards the light and just allowing herself to dance and flow with the cosmos. Anything else, Spirit? We have giving and receiving in reverse. I honor that profound heartbreak can and often will change our light. It will dim our light. It will limit our capacity for love. It will have us building incredibly high walls around our heart. It has us cutting ourselves off from people we love, from groups, from society. And this is the dance. This is the really difficult part about being on the spiritual path and balancing the isolation and intentional solitude with connection and sharing and allowing a group, a community to hold you. It's very difficult because so much of this path is done in isolation, is done in solitude, and it doesn't have to be that way forever. You're being asked to have faith. Your faith is being tested. Only you, I'm going to put the power back to you. Only you can discern when too much isolation is enough. I'm staring at this freedom card here, and it's a picture of a woman. She might be an angel, I'm not sure, but a woman in a cage. And there's a dragonfly that is gifting her a key. This is really dense energy. Dragonflies are symbols of transformation. When you are ready to transform, when you are ready to let go, you will be given this key. You will be given your own freedom. And the catch-22 of that is that you actually are always transforming. If you look at your body, your life on a cellular level, there is a frenzy of activity happening within your body. You are always changing. There are always cells dying and new cells being reborn. Your body system are a well-oiled machine. Your cellular life, your life on a cellular molecular level has committed itself to you, to the living, breathing organism that you are. You are in this holy bond with one another. And so this is such a funny, interesting message about they're holding up their end of the bargain. What is your end of the bargain? It's rooted in this courage, in this truth, in accessing your deepest truth and following it, in accessing discernment and knowing when and where to close out certain people, places, and things, to close out relationships, to close out old, living. If where you're living is no longer serving you, it's time to close that out. If a job is no longer serving you, if you are doing things for the incorrect reasons or for other people and abandoning your own desires, it's time to close those things out. Whew, okay. Let's get some card for the masculine. All right, we have peace. Anything else for masculine energy? All right, hold on. We got too many. Anything else for masculine energy? Okay, we have unfinished symphony. I'm just going to put this here for now. Is that it for masculine energy? No, we have breathe, milk and honey, and to be fair. Yeah, for quite a while now, masculine energy has been reconnecting with self, learning and assessing their own values, learning and assessing what is their version of a firm foundation. What is their land of milk and honey to them and no one else? They're not making these decisions out of obligation anymore. Coming into balance, breathing, accessing peace. For many masculine energies, they've actually never lived in peace. Let's honor the collective dysregulated long-term chronic system of the masculines. Yes, feminines have gone through that. We're not going to go into that yet. We have soulmates in the reverse. But let's just honor right now everything masculine energy has been through and honor that they tried so hard to uphold something beautiful. But because it wasn't rooted in alignment with who and what they were, because they felt forced into things, because they felt the pressures to maintain certain things due to a ton of different reasons, they've been living in a dysregulated state. To build a life from dysregulation is to build a life on a wobbly foundation. This is most likely why many, I'm trying to choose my words in the kindest way possible. But many masculines have been outsourcing their feminine energy, outsourcing a mother energy, outsourcing a beloved energy. And this is maybe why different relationships did not click, did not fall into that beautiful resonance. Yes, masculines, you are not finished. There is this unfinished story that you are meant to write. However, you have to be grounded in self. You have to be grounded in worthiness. And know that you are worthy for something higher than what you've been experiencing. Okay, something for feminine energy, please. It's funny, feminines usually get this card, this poised card. Let's see. We have a bunch of cards. I'm going to take them all. Loyal heart sounds like a feminine. Chaos and conflict. Holding our center for love in all flavors of chaos. Okay. Feminine energy, your incredible talent is in finding the treasure in the center of chaos. Due to your loyalty to love, to understanding, to truth. This is your, this is the key that unlocks the transformation, that unlocks this complete regenerative potential. You're tapping in, feminines, to this infinite alchemization, this infinite ability to, again, find, to excavate, right? You're not finding it. You're not just stumbling along. You're actually excavating the gold. You're excavating silver linings left and right, and doing this process, returning to love over and over and over again. No matter how much pain you've went through, no matter how much chaos and conflict has been floating around you, this is your gift. This is your power. Now, I always have to say the disclaimer. I'm not saying that if you are in an abusive, traumatic situation to excavate the gold and go back to this person, place, or thing that is abusive. I am saying excavate the gold and allow that gold to inform your next steps forward, to inform your self-awareness over what is your flavor of prosperity. Have courage. Take faith in your own heart. Trust your own heart. Close out any people, places, and things that made you question your peace, that made you question your truth, that made you question your heart's desires. This is your path to freedom. We also have, for the feminine energies, we have yin, the feminine, and community. Yeah, feminines. I'm getting emotional thinking about this. Feminine energy for so long has been shamed and intimidated and poked and prodded into thinking we have to do things on our own. This cannot be further from the truth. You are being asked to lean on community. If you do not have community, you are being asked to lean on your soul community, to your galactic community. You're being asked to allow the grid of unconditional love and infinite oneness, the quantum field, to hold you, to actually commune with this field, with this quantum community, as if it was a family sitting around a dinner table. This point feels very sharp. This point feels like I'm supposed to underline it, that you are never alone. I'm also feeling like I can't take a full breath of air, and I just got very hot, actually like clammy and sweaty. Feminines, again, it is an illusion if you think you're doing this alone. The heat for me is around something about the fires of transformation. If you look at this regeneration card, let's put it upright. Let me hold it up, actually. Can you see the Mother Gaia is cracking open, and there's this lava-like fiery substance coming up from the depths. There's something here around all of the power that you need to make these shifts in your life is deep within the self. It's deep within you, waiting to be excavated, waiting to be released. Okay, Spirit. Whew. I am like out of breath. Let me get a sip of water. This is, I take a bunch of breaths, but I actually haven't been doing that much in this reading. But I'm actually fatigued. I feel like I ran a mile. Oof, okay. Okay, for the union energies, we have a leg up, here and now, time to go, and all that glitters. Okay, this is a call to higher discernment. This is in the union energy, remember, masculines, feminines, wake up. We are being called to higher discernment, to discern what is true gold and what is fool's gold. It is time to bring the hammer down. It's time to draw the real boundaries, the boundaries that, people and places and things do not come back from. These are the boundaries that we close the door and walk away. There's so many, look at all these images of individuals kind of having their moment. We have this one, the one behind it, this closure card. This person is walking on a path. Oh, you know what's funny? I said close the door. I didn't even see this door in this image. I don't know if it's coming up on camera, but there's an image of a massive door, and being able to intentionally, consciously, in a resonant way, close an aligned door. To be so in alignment with your choice that there is no frequency of regret. There's no frequency of regret. I just said that. There's no frequency of, what's the word I'm looking for? Of remorse. There is zero vibration of investing in things from the past. Whatever that is for you. And I'm not saying to do this prematurely. I'm saying to drop in and do not shut that door until your mind, body, spirit is ready to shut that door. Do what you have to do, explore what you have to explore, so that you are ready to never look back, to only look forward. Okay, we have by the book. Yeah, I mean, this card always comes up and it's like my throw out the rule books card. It's in the reverse. So it's like throw out the rule books. There's no, remember, I'm so tired right now, guys. I'm like hunched over this reading. I could feel the density of the journey. I could feel the weight. It's pooling in my chest, and it's also pooling on my shoulders. So I feel the weight that you all have been carrying for so long. But I want to remind you why we're here. I want to remind you why you are attracted to the twin flame path in the first place. Our deepest mission is in recalibrating love on the planet. We are here to vessel this profound unity consciousness and to vessel what relationship paradigms are supposed to be on the planet. And I'm not daring to say that I can claim what it's supposed to be. I can only guide myself and others to take one step forward in alignment with their fully activated hearts, with their fully activated love, whatever that is for you. It's going to look different for everyone. But we are here doing the work. We are here to go first, do the work to recalibrate the system, to anchor in a higher love, to anchor in a higher direction. We are here to do this work, to bring closure to collective systems that no longer serve us. It's interesting. Excuse me, I couldn't swallow. Hold on. Wow, that was really weird. I just couldn't swallow for a second. I just lost the narrative. Hold on. Oh, this is what I was going to say. It is interesting and completely perfect that I didn't do a regular masculine feminine union kind of separate energy reading. Can you feel the inclusive nature in this reading? It wasn't an accident. I didn't even notice I did it, but it wasn't an accident. Nothing is an accident. Everything is perfect. It's only our work to discover why it is perfect, to understand how it serves us, whether it's pain, pleasure, bliss, grief. These things serve us in some capacity, and is our daring nature that will uncover this mechanism to unlock our cages, to access this deeper freedom and sovereignty. Okay, yeah, and in the unconscious, we have this TikTok card in reverse. So again, urgency, you've heard me say it a million times, urgency is an illusion. There is no such thing as urgency. We go at our own pace, right? We take up enough space to go at our own pace, which is going to look different for everyone. Okay, what do we want to get? Let's get some twin flame cards, because why not? I think it's necessary. Okay. What do we need to know? Okay. We have honor your agreements, mission in motion. We've gotten this card so many times. One with self, blossoming. You already know that. I don't have to tell you that. Divine order, practice patience. Yeah, I mean, that's going to come up on any reading I do. When we want to rush the process, we are robbing ourselves of meaning and purpose and wisdom and knowledge. The generator, staying grounded. That always, grounded cards always come up in every single one of these readings. Okay, divine creature, what are you doing to ground self? Like, I was talking with my niece the other day and I realized I have not been barefoot on the earth in like weeks. I couldn't even remember the last time I was barefoot in the grass. So that's something that I plan to do because it's just been way too long. What is your method of grounding? Is it a meditation? Is it a yoga practice? Is it an Epsom salt bath? If you can't take a bath, you could do an Epsom salt foot soak. Epsom salt foot soak, say that 10 times fast. We have surrender to the dark night of the soul. In this process of excavation, hold on. I can't tell you, I feel like chest tightness and there's just so much heat in my body. In this process of excavation, we will confront our deepest, darkest depths. You may confront grief. This is what grief might be for some of you. Know that you are enough despite what you're feeling. What you're feeling does not dictate your worthiness. I've said so many versions of this because it's true. What you're feeling is what you've chosen to feel here in Earth School. You signed up. You chose your courses. You chose this curriculum in Earth School before you incarnated. Now it's happening. Now you're in the middle of the semester and maybe it's midterms and shit is hitting the fan. You may have to pull an all-nighter. You may have to take extra care to hydrate and eat nutritious food because exam week is brutal. Right? If some of you have remembered, I mean, it doesn't even matter if you've never been to college, but anytime you have to study for something, that pressure, that, kind of, your nervous system kicking up. Am I going to do well? Am I going to remember all the answers that I studied? Is it going to stay in my heart and in my mind? We're going to end on soulmate, clearing core wounds. I mean, I'm going to put these together. Dark night of the soul, clearing core wounds, and this regeneration. I have been so drawn to this darkness. Mother Gaia quite literally breaking herself open to let the fire out. What happens when a volcano erupts? It's because the earth needed to release some pressure. This is what we're doing on a collective and individual level. We are ping-ponging on this transpersonal experience from one to the next. I'm going to leave it there. I'm sending you all so much love and support. I'm sorry this was so intense, but, got to dance with the girl I brought. All right.